So again, welcome to Millennium TV 24. You're watching the Good Looking News. I have a special guest. And if you've seen my first segment, of course, we talked about Ida. And if you know Ida, no, I'm not talking about my second floor neighbor back from the day. I'm talking about the Hurricane Ida. I'm just being funny. You know, we got to share some light on here because there's so much going on in this world. New York City was really damaged over the past 2 days. And what was amazing in New York, I'm not sure if you knew, Monique, and I'm going to introduce you in just a second. It was stormy terribly. And then the next day was sunny and beautiful like nothing had ever happened. So who I have here is Monique Berhalter, formerly known as Shannon Francis, who has been taking care of the homeless and speaking out for those with a voice since 1992 in Atlanta. And in Atlanta, Georgia area, so not just Atlanta per se. She recently founded the Love Thy Neighbor Community Empowerment Network while living in Covington, Louisiana, the last 7 years. Covington is located in St. Tammany. Did I say that right? St. Tammany?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
St. Tammany Parish, which is one of the parishes that have been devastated by Hurricane Ida. Monique. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I am super excited to have you here. If a lot of people didn't see, we actually got a little bit emotional before we got on the screen. So welcome, Monique. Hi, how are you? What is going on?
Hey Kim, I'm so good. I'm so glad to see you. You said emotional before the show. I'm just like fighting emotions the whole interview. So proud to see and be in this moment with you.
Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't want, especially with what's going on in Louisiana, you are definitely the person to speak to about that situation. But first, before we do, if you could give us a little bit more insight on Love Thy Neighbor Community Empowerment Network and just give us a little bit of background on that.
Okay, so like you said in my intro, I have a heart for the community and just serving people all my life. And once I left Georgia and moved back to Louisiana, I got a slap in the face because there were restrictions put on how you could feed the homeless.
Wow, really?
Yes, it devastated me. I just couldn't go, just go somewhere willy-nilly and pass out food. Like you had all these red tapes you have to go through.
Wow. What was the reason behind it? Did it state that?
Yeah, you have to get permits and things like that. And, the organization has to actually be on paper somewhere, so, and I didn't have to deal with that in Georgia.
Not at all, because I've done it, yeah.
Yeah, so it was, it was devastating to me. So I said, okay, well, let me get something started here. And basically, what Love Thy Neighbor Community Empowerment Network does is we provide food and clothing and basic necessities for the homeless and the working poor. And we also have a ministry under that called Burkhalter Business Solutions, which is the professional aspect of the organization. And we provide professional services for entrepreneurs, artists, community organizations, and those services range from clerical support all the way up to project management, business consulting, just anything in that spectrum that an organization or a person would need to help in their professional life or whatever goals they're trying to reach. So that's basically it. And that's why I'm on here today, is because just not because of the organization, but also from a personal aspect, because Louisiana is my born state. That's my birth state.
Yes.
And that's where my bloodline is on both sides.
Right.
Louisiana is devastated. I'm devastated. And just leaving there, I just moved from Louisiana 3 months ago. So
exactly, like you just missed this tragic event that happened.
I left July 19th, and just right after that it came. So I really processed some survivor's remorse. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I really was like, man, I'm communicating with my sisters as much as I possibly can, and can't be there with them. So it's just a lot. And Covington is a small town. It's a very good, very busy and lucrative town, but it still have pockets of poverty. You know, every town has those pockets of poverty. So the parish is devastated, and they're not getting a lot of help as much as, you know, the news is portraying.
Absolutely. Let's talk about it. FEMA. What's going on with FEMA? FEMA is supposed to be this great organization that helps out during these tragic storms and, you know, these events that happen from nature, correct?
Yeah, yeah. FEMA, I'm not going to, you know, act like an expert. I used to know what FEMA, you know, the acronym stood for and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not, that's why I'm like, I know that what they're supposed to do, but I also hear a lot of backlash on what they really don't do.
They actually do.
Right.
Yes. So they get involved, but just like how the system is set up this system was not built for us.
Right. Right.
In the good times or the bad times.
Right.
Period. So that's how the help is dispersed. I don't know if this going, you know, if this is a controversy saying that on here, but FEMA is they're slow about helping, but they do help. Now Red Cross is a superhero. Like,
really,
they come in. Yes, Red Cross. I remember last year they came in and helped us tremendously. FEMA does help, but like because it's such a big devastation, Kim, that the lines stay busy. When they get people on there, it seems like from what I'm hearing, getting direct experiences from people, homeowners are getting priority over the renters.
Wow.
That's the biggest issue I've been hearing mostly, because a lot of people are renters. You know,
a lot of the lower income people are renters. A lot of poor people.
The pockets of poverty are renting.
Right.
They're renting from these homeowners.
Right.
So the people aren't getting the help until they can prove they need help.
And which is so absurd and so kind of disturbing, because it's clear that I need help. Like, what you want me to do? You probably want me to provide you with paperwork that has been damaged in the flood and there's nothing available. So what am I supposed to provide you with? That's a little bit disturbing to hear.
And the blessed part about it is there's smaller organizations out there who recognize that, you know, like we do. So they picked up the slack, but that's a challenge to find them, because we have to use word of mouth to find those other organizations. But that's one of the good parts of living in the country, you know, because word of mouth spreads fast.
It spreads fast, right. And that's the great thing about also being able to be on this platform, because now we can spread it out to a larger audience, and that's the goal, right. Exactly. So what? Yeah, go ahead.
So that's what I wanted to tell you, that that's what my next move is. And over the weekend, I'm waiting on people to give me all of these smaller organizations who are, you know, taking up the slack from FEMA or Red Cross, or the bigger guys who are actually getting things done. But like I said, they just have all this red tape to go through because they're government funded.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I used to judge my people, you know, because I've been in Georgia for over 25, 28 years.
Yeah.
So I used to be so angry with them when they wouldn't evacuate. You know, even when Katrina hit 16 years ago, you know, I was on the phone telling everybody, get y'all tails here, you know. But living in Louisiana these last 7 years and directly being affected by these storms and by poverty and by lack. I was a member of the working poor. So, and I was taking care of my mom full time with Alzheimer's and dementia.
Right.
Last year we were stuck in the same situation. It wasn't as bad, you know, it wasn't as devastating because it tore through Lake Charles more than it did us. But we were still without lights, we were still without water. And my whole point to say that is, don't judge people for not leaving their homes, because the help only comes after the devastation. Nobody helps these poor people with gas to get somewhere else. No one helps these poor people with the diapers or prescription drugs that they need to get for their elders before they leave. No one helps these people with anything to get out of that state. No one.
Right.
They have to fend for themselves. No one offers money so they can get air beds and blankets. So when they do go somewhere to a relative that don't really have room for them, they can actually have somewhere comfortable to sleep.
Right.
You know, that's where the gap is. That's what Love Thy Neighbor wants to. That's the
it's like prevention versus right, like prevent the situation or assist prior to something happening. That way when it does happen, they're prepared to face these challenges and situations. Yeah.
If they have to evacuate, there is a fund there waiting on them, or there's a group of organized leaders who are saying, okay, Grove, y'all need to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Abita Springs, they didn't have an evacuation notice. That group of leaders have how much money saved up. Let's go through here and give these people gas cards. Let's go through here and give these people Walmart cards so they can get on out the door. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever they need so they can go. Because that's the issue. No one is helping them. No one is helping the poor until it's over. You know what I'm saying? So it's like no one is seeing the poor now before the trauma happens.
Because nobody wants to pay attention to that. They want to act like it doesn't exist. You know, they know it exists, but that's okay. We need to focus on this part where it's already funded and taken care of. So we're going to fund it more and make it better while these people over here have a more difficult time. They'll be all right. They know how to deal with the struggle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They only matter when it spreads out and touches the other neighborhoods. That's the only time it matters. That's the only time. I have sisters who had, one of my sisters just got out of where she was without lights with a newborn baby. My nephew hadn't even turned 6 months yet. Just left that place to get somewhere with some lights and air conditioning. My other sister is staying with her sister-in-law with all their kids and everything. They're in a neighborhood that doesn't have lights. 3 blocks away from there, in a more astute neighborhood, they have lights.
Wow.
Their lights came on 2 days ago.
Well, I've heard, I mean, if you didn't hear the segment that I did on Louisiana before you came on, was that they're not going to have it till Wednesday. And that's possible. They're just giving a date. They still can't promise that it's going to be Wednesday. But they said Wednesday. Today is Friday. That's a problem.
Guess what? They're lying.
I know, because they said Wednesday, but then later on it said we still can't promise you a specific time. So why did I just read off that?
I just got a text because that's how they protect. That's how they protect themselves. That's how they protect themselves from the discrimination.
Right. Right.
Because I just got a couple of texts that people in Kenner. Some neighborhoods in Kenner have lights.
And I'm sure that's a middle class or what kind of class? Yeah. I don't know if you also heard the segment that I did. I think we were having some connection problems, but it was a young lady who is wanted right now from 911. She worked for 911, and she was hanging up on callers and not also dispatching. So yes, that's a terrible thing, right? But I know someone who works for 911, and mentally and emotionally, it has caused us so much damage. And I'm not defending this young lady, but what I'm saying is that.
Why was she fired?
She was fired for not sending in the 911. She was hanging up on the 911 callers or not dispatching the 911 calls so that they could get help. So again, I'm not defending her, but what I'm saying is that there's so much. Imagine getting numerous phone calls and you can't do anything. I'm
giving you the side look because
that's where my head was at when I read that story.
Dispatchers, they have on-site counselors in most dispatching
No, they have
cost
to. They have to.
them. So why would they fire her in this type of situation? They're getting traumatized just like the people who
That's
calling them.
what I'm saying. So that kind of like it felt different to me. Again, I'm not defending the situation because I'm hoping she wasn't doing it out of malice, you know. But I really deep down, and I deal with energy, whether it's when I can feel it, read it, see it. I think that it was just something more of
Right.
trauma and not being able to help, and she didn't just know what else to do. Because I can imagine working
Right.
and being in Louisiana and people constantly calling, or you hear babies in the background crying, or like that's just traumatic. It's traumatic. So gosh,
You don't know what that lady heard, you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And most people in those who like that type of job or empaths, they already are empaths. And
So they feel it 10 times more than
yeah,
than a
yeah.
regular person. So
And then they're not getting the opportunity to be able to channel that. You know what
right.
I'm saying? It's constant.
Constant.
You
It's
know.
constant, back and forth, back and forth. And again, if they're calling for help and you can't help them, nobody's available to even go to this person or persons, the people and children and families. Well, what do you do, right? So again, with prayers out for her. I hope that everything works out in that situation. Monique, I know we are running out of time. I want to let them know how we can help Louisiana, how we can maybe
Okay.
send the resources to you so you can do it personally. Let us know what we
Yeah.
need to do, please.
So I'm collecting everything, supplies, non-perishable foods. I have a physical address you guys can send it to in Louisiana,
Okay.
and I have a cash app for Love Thy Neighbor. If you guys want to send monetary, a donation, that's fine. So the cash app is LTNCEN.
Okay, you
2020.
you sound country, right? So that was LTN.
Look.
I can't see it. The lighting is on. So L as in love, T as in die,
Uh-huh.
NCEN as in Nancy, right?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
2020.
2020. So again, the
Yep.
Cash App is L as in love, thy neighbor community empowerment network. So that acronym 2020 to send any cash donations. And the address?
22019
Uh-huh.
7th Street. Fill out 7th.
Okay.
And that's in Abita Springs, ABITA
Mm-hmm.
Springs, Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
70420.
All right. So
And
uh-huh.
that's in the care of the Fix Ministry, FIX, the Fix.
Fix Ministries. So again, if you didn't hear or clear, it's Fix Ministries, care of Fix Ministries at 22019 spell out 7 Street, Avita, V as in Victor, ITA, Springs, Louisiana, 70420. Please.
And
Again.
that's Abita, B as in boy.
Oh, B as in boy. See, look, B as in boy. Glad we fixed that. All right, ABITA. All right. Anything else?
So much. They need everything, guys. Not just the obvious water, batteries and stuff. They need hygiene things. They need batteries. People have to go to work even though they don't have electricity in their home. So they need hygiene things. Just Pampers, diapers. Just think about any situation that's going on there. They need it.
Absolutely.
So,
And a lot of people don't know socks is, like I hear, a very, very huge thing for the homeless. Blankets, I'm sure. All right. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to also put this on social media to make sure that it is sent out in more, more
I
platforms.
Love Thy Neighbor is starting a drive tomorrow for the next 2 weeks. So that's all we're going to concentrate on is getting this stuff out to them. The money would help with things that we don't know they need. Like I said,
Air
mattresses,
mattresses.
pillows and stuff like that for people here who don't have, generators, because some of the elderly, they can't leave, so these generators are expensive, so things like that.
You got it. Well, you heard it here on Millennium TV 24 with me, Kim Seabrook, and our special, amazing, beautiful guest, Monique Burkhalter. And again, she's formerly known as Shannon Francis, so y'all better get it right when you see her. Her name is Monique. All right, she's worked hard to get that name and that beautiful smile. And yeah, she's worked hard, so let's make sure we continue to help her and support her and everything that she do so she could continue to help our community. Again, we thank you. Just stay right there. Don't disconnect. We're ending it. This is the end of it. You're watching the Good Looking News. Kim Seabrook. Make sure to download the apps on your Androids, your iPhones, your smart TVs. You can watch us on Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick. What else? Roku. Don't forget Roku. Just watch us as we appreciate you for supporting us. We'll see you next time on the Good Looking News. I'm Kim Seabrook, Millennium TV 24.